Welcome back to another great episode of the Get Your Happy Back podcast. My name is Diamond Leone, and today I want to talk to you guys about the concept of trusting yourself. What does self-trust look like? How do you cultivate and nurture this quality within yourself? And how to use it as a superpower. So let's just get right into it. Self-trust looks like awareness of your thoughts and feelings, sticking to your own personal standards, your ethics, your core values, expressing yourself openly and honestly, knowing when you need to take care of yourself first, right? That's very important. Pursuing your dreams unapologetically without guilt or shame from those around you that you love or that, might be trying to guilt trip you. And it's the overall confidence that no matter what happens to you in life, that you're going to be okay. I want to share with you that it took me years to really cultivate this within myself. I am a strong person by nature, very independent and self-reliant and all those really great things. However, if I'm being totally honest, I do realize that I was brought up to be a people pleaser. They say more is caught than taught when you're raising your children. And I noticed that my mom was she was a people pleaser herself. And even though she was a very strong, independent, fierce woman on all fronts, she really wanted to make a huge impact in the world. She wanted those around her to be happy. And she would give the shirt off her back, so to speak, to help someone. And so I sort of grew up thinking and feeling and interpreting that as a way of just being and a way of giving back, right? And a way of just showing my service to God, right? Because my mom was very much into her faith and very God-driven and purpose-driven and things like that. So, but as I got older, I realized that you just can't make everybody happy and everyone is not supposed to like you. So when you accept this, your whole paradigm shifts. Now, what I learned is that we go through, as we get older, and I don't know what your age is, okay? But as we get older, we go through a lot of life experiences. And those experiences really do shape how we see the world. And we put ourselves out there and we get burned and we learn, and then we put ourselves out there again and we get burned and we learn. And it's just kind of like it just keeps going. But here's the thing. Here's the human condition. You never want to stop putting yourself out there in this world to experience human connection with other people. You have to be vulnerable in order to experience love. And when you do, you're going to get hurt. It's almost a guarantee because people are fallible. None of us are perfect. And that's just the way it is, guys. So what do you do then? You might say to yourself, well, Diamond, that doesn't seem very exciting. Like, I put myself out there, I get hurt, I learn. I put myself out there, I get hurt, I learn. Like, why don't I just stop putting myself out there? Why don't I just, keep to myself? The problem with that is if you build a wall, okay, you're right, no one's going to be able to get in to hurt you, but conversely, no one can get in to love you. And I want to share with you that no matter how much money you have or status you have in life or just whatever accomplishments you might have, there is nothing that compares to love. Whether it's love from your children, from your friends, from, a partner, a spouse, a lover. And you do have to be vulnerable, allow yourself to be vulnerable to experience that human connection. What I want to talk with you today about is, how do you build up self-trust so that you know how to care for yourself in such a way that when shit does hit the fan in your life, and it will, because that's just the nature of constantly growing and evolving and maturing. Like, things are always changing. You're always changing. The people around you are always changing. The world itself is always rotating around on an axis. So nothing ever stays the same. So how do we be ready for this change, and how do we adapt, and how do we stay emotionally safe, and these types of things? So when you build and cultivate trust within yourself, you basically are creating an unshakable inner peace that can transcend relationships coming and going, friendships beginning and ending, whether someone likes you today and then doesn't like you tomorrow, whether you have a job and a big house and lots of money, or you file bankruptcy and lose it all. I mean, this type of inner peace that I'm talking about it's majestic. It's to me, I feel like it is divine. It is given to us from our Creator. And it's always there, but we have to learn how to tap into it. Now, I don't know what your spiritual beliefs are. I believe in God, and so I might say God or the universe, our Creator. It's all kind of that whole divine, being that our Creator. Okay, that that's what I'm referring to when you hear me say God. Okay, so. And I'm very respectful of everyone's beliefs, okay, just so you know. But I really want you to understand that God is love. Your Creator, your source energy, it's love. And so when you tap into that source, you feel at peace like no other thing can give you. Alcohol can't give it to you. Drugs can't give it to you. Sex can't give it to you. Money can't give it to you. All those things give us a temporary high, and they make us feel good temporarily. But the type of inner peace that I'm talking about it's already within you. It's given to you by your Creator, and you just have to learn how to tap into it. So, one of the things that we all need to do is to slow down. We are all so busy living our lives and constantly on social media and constantly trying to go for that next big shiny object in our life, whatever that might be. It could be a new house, a new car, a promotion at work, or just, trying to lose weight and get in a better shape. Like, we're always going for something. And I'm not saying this to make you feel guilty or feel bad, because we should always have fresh goals in front of us. We should always be working towards something. But we want to be careful that we are not doing it at the expense of having that time to just be alone with our thoughts, and to really go inward and work on ourselves and be at peace with ourselves. So I want you to realize this first thing, and that is that you are enough. You are enough. You are whole. You are amazing. You have so many wonderful qualities about you already right now. And when you truly embrace the concept that you are enough and you are whole and you are complete already by yourself, without anyone else, without anything else, and you truly accept this as fact, it is so liberating and freeing. I can't even explain it to you, because it's something that it's an energy that you have to tap into to fully understand what I'm saying. And if you have tapped into it before, or at moments, you know what I'm talking about. You know what this feels like. It's an inner calm that everything's going to be okay no matter what. Now, you may have had moments like that. But I want to teach you, I want to kind of guide you how to come back to that place when, on the ready, when you need to, when your world might be stressful and, you just need that reprieve. So one of the things that I want, I guess step one would be to practice having compassion with yourself. Start with self-compassion. We all have like this negative self-talk going on in our heads at all times, telling us that we're not worthy, we're not good enough, we're not pretty enough, young enough, rich enough, whatever, fill in the blank. But the truth is that's just a lie. It's just our egos that's trying to keep us, I guess wanting more, or, I'm not really sure, I think, well, I do know where it comes from. It's our brains, and this is another whole conversation. I'm trying not to go off on a tangent, but our brains are designed to keep us alive, not keep us happy. And so our brains are constantly scanning, looking for everything negative that could potentially harm us. And then, it goes into this whole negative self-dialogue to warn us and keep us safe. But the truth is that you have to learn how to reprogram your brain if you want to be happy. So practicing self-compassion is a great way to just go internal, transform your inner critic into a compassionate friend. When you hear yourself saying these negative thoughts, stop yourself right in the middle of it and say, you know what? I'm amazing. I love how I, had courage to try this thing in the first place, right? The second thing I want you to do is to just really start giving yourself permission in life to try new things. Just be easy about it. It's okay to fail. Like, don't overanalyze every little thing. If you want to try a new job, try a new job. If you want to, be creative and write a book or write a song or start a business, just do it. Figure out the steps and just do it. And try not to get so much in your head about all of it, right? Just understand that, failure is always going to be part of success. I don't know anyone who's gotten to any type of level of success and hasn't had failures along the way. So the other thing too, and the purpose of this, by the way, is you're building and establishing a relationship with yourself. That is so important, because when you become more familiar and with, who you are and what your capabilities are, and you know that, hey, you know what? It's going to be okay if I make mistakes or if I fail. I'll pick myself back up. Like, it's going to be okay. It's no big deal. But you have to take that step of giving yourself permission first to put yourself out there, to start that business, to, do this project, write a book, whatever it is. Okay. Another thing too, when it comes to building a relationship with yourself, is to make a list of the things that make you happy. How many of you have done that before? Just get out a little notepad, or even on the notes section of your phone, just write down things that make you happy, like listening to your favorite music and lighting candles and taking a hot bubble bath. I'm a girl, so these are the things that make me happy. But like reading a new book or taking a trip, like whatever it is that really, like, for example, you might enjoy going to a car show, right? Like, that's something that I'm slowly starting to enjoy. So, whatever it is, even, if you're a guy, like, write down the list of things that make you happy, and maybe try every day to do one thing on that list to just show yourself that you matter. Right now, that one of the best ways to build self-trust is to cultivate and nurture that relationship with yourself, so that when shit hits the fan, I'm trying not to curse, but when things hit the fan, you know that you've got your own back, okay? That is what this episode is about. I want you to have and cultivate and build that unshakable, like, trust within yourself, so that when, things happen in our life, and they're always going to happen, that you just have this inner peace that no one can take away from you, okay? So we talked about self-compassion. We talked about, giving yourself permission. I also want you to write out some affirmations. And by the way, my book, Get Your Happy Back, is going to be out probably within a month. And I go through all of this stuff with you guys. Like, I teach you how to write affirmations. I teach you, the importance of having a good morning routine and what I do and on my morning routine. So try affirmations. Basically, it's just writing out like some things that you want to be reminded of, right? So who doesn't want to hear how amazing they are? So you write these little affirmations and you repeat them to yourself every single day. Excuse me. Confidence, guys, remember, true self-confidence comes from feeling genuinely good about yourself. And self-trust is the byproduct of creating an amazing, juicy relationship with yourself where you become your own best friend, so that no matter, again, when a breakup happens, or you lose a job, or a loved one, God forbid, or you're just feeling down in the dumps, or just when things happen to you, you know that inside, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to have my own back. So, and we talked about vulnerability before, like, you want to allow yourself, this is you now, you want to allow yourself to be seen, held, loved, and supported by you. Because remember, when you do this, when you become your own soft place to fall in this crazy world, guys, something magical happens. You have such an amazing self-confidence that you're willing to try anything. You're willing to give love a second chance. You're willing to start that business. You're willing to take that trip by yourself. You're not afraid anymore. And that's what I want for you. I never, after this episode, and when you practice these things and learn to come back into your inner self, I don't want you to ever be afraid of losing a job, being alone, having a relationship end, or you ending a relationship. I don't want you to ever be afraid anymore of these things, starting a business, buying a house, buying your first car, whatever it is. When you cultivate this self-trust that we're talking about today, you know that it's okay to put yourself out there in any scenario of life, because at the end of the day, you're going to be okay if it doesn't work out. Remember, it's not about, like, self-trust looks like this. It's not about expecting everything in your life to be perfect and work out in your favor. It's about having the confidence within yourself to know that you're going to be okay if it doesn't. You are going to be able to pick yourself up and practice self-care and love yourself if it does not go in your favor, okay? And that's what this is all about. So listen to your thoughts. Become more self-aware of what makes you tick. Figure out what you like and what you don't like. Learn how to set boundaries with the people in your life. Remember, boundaries are not for other people. They're for you, okay? Boundaries, establish like a way for people to treat us. And remember, we teach people how to treat ourselves. And remember this too, we value ourselves long before, we place a value on ourselves long before anybody else comes along to value us. So how we treat ourselves and love ourselves is how other people are going to treat us and love us. That's why it's so important to do these steps that I'm talking about. Go inward, learn who you are, what you like, what you don't like. Learn how to clearly communicate your needs, how to care for yourself when things don't go your way. Do these steps that I'm talking about, like, meditation and the affirmations and just giving yourself permission. All these things, they build such a strong relationship with yourself. And you know what? Like I said, you become unstoppable because you're not afraid. You're not afraid to put yourself out there. You're not afraid to love. Who cares if it doesn't work out? Hey, at least you gave it a chance, right? And you know what? You spoke up for yourself, right? You learned to speak up for yourself. You learned to communicate your needs. Guys, we all have parts of ourselves that, where we don't want to be rejected. We're afraid, to put ourselves out there. But here's the thing. If you don't, then you're not being your authentic self. and you know that you're being a fraud, and you know that you're lying, you know that that's not how you feel, right? If you don't speak up for yourself when someone mistreats you, you know that you're not being your authentic self. And so that's kind of like a quiet act of violence against yourself that I want you to stop doing. As of today, you're not doing that anymore. When someone upsets you, you're going to learn you're going to speak up for yourself. And if you need help on phrases to say and things like that, let me know. I'll do another whole podcast episode on that. But I want you to get in the habit of always speaking up for yourself and putting you first. My gosh, you deserve to be put first in your own life. So just have honest communication with yourself, understand that you matter, and, don't be afraid to truly, truly see yourself, because if you don't see yourself and your own needs, then how do you expect somebody else to see you? And no more putting up these walls, guys, to shut people out because you don't understand how to create boundaries and speak up for yourself. When you do the steps that I've talked about here, you cultivate such a nurturing, loving relationship with yourself that you're never going to let anybody mistreat you again, because you now hold yourself in such high regard that maybe you hadn't done before. Maybe no one's ever showed you how to do it before, but now you know, and you can't unknow what I'm telling you today. You matter. Your thoughts matter. Your feelings matter. You matter. And so I want you to start treating yourself that way. So that's it, guys. I hope that this episode has inspired you to speak up for yourself, to love yourself, to create and cultivate that relationship with yourself, and to allow yourself to be seen and heard and held and loved and respected, and, create boundaries. And when you do all of this, guys, you develop such unshakable self-trust within yourself that no matter what goes wrong in your world, you know you're going to be there to have your own back, and you're going to be just fine. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please follow me on Instagram at @TheDiamondLeone. You can go over to TikTok and find me. Please review and rate and subscribe this podcast. That would mean the world to me. We can get the word out to more people. That's it, guys. I love you. Have an amazing day.